Breaking developments on the brief lockdown at NASA Glenn today. It's all a false alarm. We have news teams there ready to bring you new breaking developments right now.
News Channel 5 on your side starts now.
Good afternoon, everyone. We start with breaking news, an update about a large employer in Cuyahoga County. NASA Glenn Research Center is getting back to normal right now. We had several emails from concerned people, and we've even talked with people who work at NASA Glenn about the brief lockdown and reports of a gunman. But Paul Kiska found out it was just a drill. Paul Kiska on the scene. Tell us more.
All right, Leon, the headline on this one, big sigh of relief. False alarm. That is indeed good news for the workers here and their families who've been watching this throughout the morning. Turns out this was a mistake. This was an automated security test. Apparently the call came in as, this is a test. This is only a test. We have a man with a gun in the building. Problem is, the person who took that call never heard the part that it was just a test. Only the part about a man on the loose with a gun in a building. So that person called 911. Brook Park Police, Cuyahoga County Sheriff's Department, a SWAT team, and federal agents swarmed here to the NASA Glenn research area. They all arrived in a hurry, speeding through, ambulances on standby. But again, good news, no gunmen, no shots were ever fired. This was all just a test. Again, a misunderstanding. Workers have been allowed back into the building. Looks like some might even be going home early. The director of the NASA Glenn Research Center will be holding a news conference at 1 o'clock this afternoon to explain how all this went down. NASA Glenn this morning very forthcoming, giving us updates as they could, but we saw most of the police, I'd say about 90% of the police and the SWAT teams all leave from here. Things are back to normal. All was calm, nobody hurt. Leon, back to you.
Paul, before you get away, let me ask you, you were live on the air when the all clear was given. It was during a breaking news cut-in earlier today. Describe how it felt to hear that.
Well, it was instant relief because at that time, this was still a very tense, active situation. Workers who were standing out here without their coats on because the building was under lockdown, they were scared. They thought a gunman was on the loose. They were hearing reports, a lot of people on edge here, that shots were fired, that maybe somebody was hit. And then when you see the police swarming in here, the SWAT teams coming in, federal agents, and people were flying through here, everybody thought it was an active situation, including the media. We thought we were back safely enough. We weren't exactly sure. We're all keeping an eye out for a gunman on the loose. And then over PAs, we heard a voice echoing through the cold air here by Hopkins Airport saying, this is the all clear, 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 clear. The emergency is over. And it actually gave you chills. You were just happy that it had ended. And then a short time later, I got a tip that this was a false alarm, and we put that on the air as well.
Paul, you said a couple of minutes ago that NASA has been very forthcoming about this, and they're going to hold a news conference later on this afternoon, right, to explain this misunderstanding?
That's right. Brook Park Police were the first to tell us this was a false alarm. Then we had a Cuyahoga County Sheriff's personnel, I think from the SWAT team, come out here and tell us it was an automated security test. He was supposed to react to a man in a building with a gun, but the person who took that call never heard it was a test. And from there, he understandably called 911, activated all the proper authorities. And then at that point, NASA Glenn came out and said it was a mistake, a false alarm, and they'll debrief us more at 1 o'clock with the director of NASA Glenn.
Thank you, Paul. We're all breathing sighs of relief. Many thanks, Paul Kiska, there at NASA Glenn.
Good news in the end.
In the meantime, Chief Investigator Ron Regan is in the Breaking News Center with more information for us. Ron, you've obtained the 911 calls that triggered all of this.
Well, that's right, Leon. The first call came in just before 10 o'clock this morning, followed by a second call minutes later. Here's why police and SWAT teams responded so quickly.
911, what city is your emergency?
Yes, my mother worked at NASA, and she just sent me a text message that said it's a shooter at NASA.
Okay, hold for the city of Brook Park. 911, and what city do you have an emergency?
It's Cleveland. My sister works at NASA in Brea by the airport, and she just called me and told me that someone's on campus running around with a gun.
Oh, we also spoke with a NASA Glenn employee who described what was going on inside one of those lockdown buildings this morning. The first thing that struck me was how calm and professionally workers there were handling all of this. Now, this individual described hallways that were empty, no one moving outside, and, of course, a lot of questions about what was really going on. no information was reaching employees except what we were broadcasting here on News Channel 5. But again, some very calm and professional employees in a very tense situation. Live in the newsroom, I'm Chief Investigator Ron Regan.
And later on today, Ron, I'm certain we'll have more information about what was going on and what was not going on this late morning time today. Thank you, Ron Regan, for handling the story for us. We appreciate it. Some of our breaking news reports were over the Dr. Oz show today, and we will re-air today's show. So set your DVRs. The Dr. Oz show for today, Friday, will re-air in its entirety Tuesday morning at 1:05 a.m. If you are a night owl, you may consider you may consider that late Monday night. Again, the Dr. Oz show will re-air in its entirety at 1:05 a.m. early Tuesday morning.